While handing out flyers, I spotted my girlfriend Bella looking all messy and locking lips with the school hottie in a sleek ride. When I knocked on the window, the hottie asked her, "Who's this?" Bella, leaning against him, replied, "Just a simp. If you're not cool with it, I'll ditch him right away." After the kiss, she didn't even glance my way and turned her back. The hottie licked his lips where Bella had kissed and teased. "Leave. Girls only go for the strong ones," I questioned. "I don't care about my girl." "But why are you in my whip?" The vibe got tense. The hottie gripped the steering wheel, staring at me blankly. "What do you mean, your whip? This is mine," I shot back. I opened the glove box and pulled out the registration. "Check it. My name's on it. Why are you in my car? Stealing?" "I'm calling the cops now." The hottie blushed, quickly exited the car, and whispered, "Don't call the cops. My dad's a mechanic. I saw the car looked cool and borrowed it for a spin. Please don't dial the police." I widened my eyes and loudly responded, "You call this borrowing? That's theft. Repair shops don't just jack cars for maintenance." The hottie lowered his head and mumbled, "Bro, my bad." I sighed, "Don't get cozy, let me inspect the car first." He stayed silent, and I soon noticed a dent on the hood. "What's up with this?" I asked angrily. The hottie panicked and quickly replied, "It's not on me. Your girl insisted on sitting on the hood for selfies and posted some shady pics on her socials. That's proof." I checked my phone, saw nothing. The hottie hurriedly showed me his phone. Turns out, Bella had blocked me. Looking at her social media, I rolled my eyes. "Such bold pics. Fine, you can bounce. I'll keep those pics as evidence. You both prepare for a court notice." The hottie was stunned and whispered, "Bro, is it gonna cost a lot?" "Around 100 grand, I said. Instantly, his face turned pale. The hottie quickly said, "But she was the one who messed it up. Do I have to pay too?" I rolled my eyes. "Don't you get the law? You're both liable. Your dad's work this year is wasted." The proud hottie burst into tears. "That dumb girl. I told her it's carbon fiber. Only fancy sports cars use it. The hotter it gets, the harder it becomes." But she couldn't wait for the car to warm up and just sat on it for selfies. "My folks worked so hard. Now we're screwed 'cause of her." Impatient, I got into my ride and called someone to check the damage. I wasn't into watching him cry. The hottie wiped his tears and wailed, "How come you're the rich one? Your girl said you work multiple gigs handing out flyers." I said, "I don't work. I hand out flyers, but those stores are mine. I wasn't lying. Half of the main street, 72 stores. My family's got them. Handing out flyers for my family's shops? What's wrong with that?" I closed the window, not wanting to hear the hotties crying anymore. At that moment, Bella texted me, "Since you saw it, let's break up. Don't blame me. Blame your parents for being losers. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than laugh on your bike handing out flyers." I fell into deep thought. Since both the Lamborghini and the bike are mine, should she cry or laugh? I wanted to reply, "Wait for the court notice." But Bella had already blocked me. My God, how could she block me? Speaking of repair costs, she owes me 100 grand. Ignoring the fact she was in the dorm, I rushed into the dorm and headed straight to Bella's room. Luckily, it was morning, so the dorm was quiet. I arrived at her door and was about to knock when I heard a woman inside ask, "Did you really do what I told you?" Then Bella said, "Yeah, I lied to him that I took the pill." The woman excitedly said, "That's perfect. I calculated your cycle and knew you'd likely get pregnant these days, so I told you to date him. Once you're pregnant, you can marry into a rich family." Bella said worriedly, "What if he makes me get an abortion?" The woman replied, "As long as you're pregnant, I can make him acknowledge the baby. You even broke up with your boyfriend for him. Let's see if he dares not to recognize it." I was shocked that Bella would go this far. She wanted to marry the school hottie by having his kid. I wondered how she'd feel when she found out the hottie had stolen my car. I knocked on Bella's door, and when she saw me, she immediately frowned. "I've already broken up with you. Why are you still bothering me? I'm telling you, being poor isn't the issue. But being poor and shamelessly nagging a girl is really gross. It seemed Bella misunderstood, thinking I was trying to get back with her. There were two other people in the dorm, her roommates whom I knew before I could speak. One roommate said, "Can you stop hindering Bella from chasing her own happiness?" I was totally baffled. So, making out with another guy in a sports car behind her boyfriend's back was seen as her pursuing her own happiness. I knew this roommate. She was Bella's best friend, Mia, who had just pushed Bella to get pregnant. When I first dated Bella, Mia often made snarky comments like, "A guy's love for a girl depends on how much he spends on her." Because of Mia's instigation, I had given Bella many gifts. Now, I was here to get those gifts back. I said, "We can break up, but the phone you're using is mine. You should return it." I didn't mention that the sports car was mine, because knowing Bella's nature, she might cling to me shamelessly. I had to get my stuff back first. Bella immediately frowned and coldly said, "So you're such a petty person. Can't you consider my feelings?" I was speechless. "It's not that I'm petty, but you've already wronged me. Why should I care about your feelings?" Mia suddenly covered her mouth and laughed. She said, "Can't you see through this poor guy's trick? Asking you to return the gift is just a front. He really wants to make things tough because he can't handle the breakup." Bella sneered, "So that's it. You think if I can't handle returning the gift, I won't break up with you, right? Forgot? My current man is loaded." She lifted her head proudly, and Mia added fuel to the fire. "Don't worry, sis, I just checked. Jake's Lamborghini cost millions. Buying you a new phone is nothing to him." Bella laughed and said, "I can return the phone, but let me make one last call. I'll show you why I broke up with you, because the gap between you and a rich guy is so wide you'll never close it in your life." I wondered if the rich guy she was talking about was Jake. I remembered when I sent the car to Jake's house for maintenance. His dad sighed and said, "Making money was tough these days, and what they earned wasn't enough to cover rent." Bella made a call, and Mia quickly said, "Put it on speaker so he can hear. Let him know the gap between him and others." Bella nodded and, seeming to show off, put the call on speaker. As soon as the call connected, she pitifully said, "Bro, my boyfriend came to break up with me and wants me to return the phone he bought me. Without the phone, how can I reach you?" But Jake didn't take it well. On the other end, Jake yelled angrily, "You damn bitch, don't let me see you again, or I'll beat you every time I see you." Instantly, both Bella and Mia were stunned. The call was cut off abruptly, and Bella stared at her phone. Unable to speak, Mia quickly reacted. She angrily grabbed a book from her bed and threw it at me, shouting, "Did you talk trash about my bestie downstairs?" When Bella heard this, she was furious and started shaking. "Yeah, he wasn't treating me like this before. You must have slandered me. How despicable and gross can you be?" I impatiently said, "I didn't badmouth you. Just give me back my stuff." "If you didn't slander me, why would he suddenly treat me like this?" I was speechless because Bella had posted flirty selfies sitting on the hood of his car. Jake ended up in debt due to his family's income. How could he not be angry? Mia sneered. "That's why I told you to be brave and date Jake. 'Cause I already saw through this poor loser. He only knows how to play dirty behind your back." Disgusting simp. I asked, "So you're saying you were part of her betrayal?" "Right," Mia snapped. "Betrayal. My best friend was in a mess. Of course, I had to pull her out. Should I let her sink into marrying you? She'll thank me forever." Bella grew impatient and coldly said, "You can have the phone back, but I have one condition. You immediately apologize to Jake and admit you lied about me." Mia cursed. "Yeah, even if you have to kneel and apologize. Clear my best friend's name." I took the phone and continued. "Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? And we haven't settled our accounts yet." I walked into the room and sat at the desk to start calculating. Throughout our relationship, I had given Bella many gifts and transfers. I wanted them all back. Bella said disappointedly, "My friends are all here. We once loved each other. Do you really want to embarrass me like this?" I ignored her and continued calculating. Mia suddenly took a photo of me with a face full of disdain and said, "Today I met the ultimate loser. I'm posting this on my socials right now and exposing you. You'll be socially dead." I thought she was just threatening, but when I took out my phone to check, she had actually posted it. She posted my photo with the caption, "OMG, girls never date a poor guy. The poorer they are, the more trouble they cause. My bestie got stuck with one. It's scary." I frowned and said, "This is a personal matter between us. Why keep mentioning being poor? Might as well label gold digger on your face." Mia sneered, "Yeah, I do like rich guys. Do you have the right to be jealous? If you were rich, you'd be scolding me now, not the other way around. Look at yourself, pathetic." Mia got more agitated, walked to the window, and pointed downstairs. She said, "Rich dudes drive million-dollar Lambos and have big ambitions and career goals. Poor losers just sit here calculating, making the girls who love them feel sick." Another roommate finally spoke up. "Bella, why don't you just pay him back? This is your fault in the first place." Instantly, Bella's expression changed. Bella asked, "What do you mean? Are you taking his side?" Mia sneered, "Isn't it obvious? You found a boyfriend with a Lamborghini and she's jealous, so she purposely insults you, slanders you." The roommate's face turned red with anger. "Don't falsely accuse me. I knew this girl. She was a poor student named Zoe before. When Bella wanted to show off, she had me buy desserts for everyone in her dorm. But Zoe refused to take them, saying she couldn't accept something she didn't earn. That left a deep impression on me." Bella sighed and said, "Zoe, I know you're poor and rely on student loans and scholarships to study. I get if you resent the rich, but you know what? Being a good person is more important than good grades." Zoe's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you saying I'm not a good person?" I was completely stunned. Zoe was diligent and hardworking, excelling in character and academics. And Bella? She had just been making out with the rich guy in a car, right in front of me. Her boyfriend. She dared to say Zoe didn't know how to act. "What kind of nonsense are you spouting?" Mia sneered. "I know your type. Poor simp girl. You know he broke up, so you're pretending to be a pretentious flirt to win his favor. You know you have no chance with a guy who drives a Lamborghini, so you don't even let a guy who earns $3K a month handing out flyers pass." Zoe was so mad she clenched her fists and stood up. "I also work part-time as a tutor and earn $2K a month." Mia looked at her with disdain. "To you, even mosquito legs are meat. Yesterday, I saw you picking up food that fell on the table to eat. You poor wretch. Of course you're not picky about men." Zoe's eyes reddened immediately, her voice trembling with grievance. "The food fell on the table, not the floor. What's so poor about that?" "Enough," Bella's shout interrupted us. She slammed her phone on the table and said to me, "You really embarrass me. My biggest regret is dating you. Hurry up and settle our accounts. Then I can explain to my new man." Mia quickly said, "Don't worry, sis, I'll go with you to explain. The rumors will be squashed. And you'll still be the little darling of a rich guy." I couldn't be bothered with these two anymore and focused on calculating our accounts. Of course, I didn't include the repair costs of the sports car. I was afraid Bella might shamelessly try to reconcile with me. In the end, I figured it out. In the year we dated, I had given Bella gifts and transfers totaling $18K. After doing the math, I was stunned. Dating really costs a lot. I only spent a few hundred a month on living expenses. I didn't realize it until I calculated it. Not only was I shocked, but Bella and Mia were also a bit stunned. After all, they were students. Where would they get over $10K? At first, they didn't believe it, but after checking several times, they finally confirmed my calculations were correct. Bella looked a bit troubled. "$18K? I can't come up with that right now." Mia panicked and quickly said, "Don't freak out, sis. I'll help you pay it back. Your attitude towards this loser now will determine how the hottie sees you. Even if we have to borrow from loan sharks, we'll pay the money back. You need to cut ties with this poor guy to have a chance to marry into a rich family." Bella was eventually swayed by Mia's words. She nodded and said, "Okay, we'll find a way to borrow it." My family mustn't know, or my parents will kill me. I didn't know what to say. If 18K would get her killed, what would happen when the nearly 100K repair bill for the sports car got sent to her house? Her parents would probably want to grind her bones to dust. Bella and Mia immediately started contacting people to borrow money. Surprisingly, it was quite easy for them to get loans. Classmates each gave a few hundred, lending it to Bella. Even Bella was amazed at how easily she could get the money. She couldn't help but say, "I have a good rep. Everyone's willing to lend me cash." Mia laughed. "It's because of your selfies on social media. You're sitting in a sports car worth millions. Of course, people are willing to lend you this small amount." Bella suddenly realized, see that? That's the true charm of a real man, making everyone admire him and lend me money, hoping to befriend him. "If I were still with you, would anyone help me when I'm in trouble?" Mia sneered. Trouble. Being with him is already the biggest disaster in life. They kept borrowing money and finally managed to collect over 8K. But there was still a 10K gap. Mia gritted her teeth and said, "I know a guy from the underworld. He can lend me the money, but if we can't pay it back, it'll be terrible." Bella asked worriedly, "What if we can't pay it back?" Mia replied, "Don't worry about that now. Your new boyfriend is so rich, 10K is nothing to him." Mia quickly contacted the so-called underworld person who seemed like a professional private lender. He handed over 10K without hesitation. After they gathered enough money and returned it to me, Bella threw the phone at me angrily and said, "Satisfied now? Get lost. From now on, we should have nothing to do with each other." I nodded and turned to Zoe, saying, "Can you come out with me for a moment?" Zoe looked at me in surprise, seemingly not understanding why I was calling her. Mia immediately sneered. I knew these two had something going on. As soon as you paid him back, they hooked up. I felt a wave of helplessness. The reason I wanted to talk to Zoe was that she worked in the student council and had the contact directory. Since I planned to send a court summons to Bella's family, I definitely needed her home address. Zoe blushed deeply, lowered her head, and followed me out. Mia mocked again. "You're really following him out? You only deserve Bella's leftovers." Zoe was almost in tears. "I don't have any such intentions." Mia cursed. "Pretentious flirt. Keep pretending. No wonder your family is so poor. It's genetic. Look at you trying to please even a guy who hands out flyers. And you're so indiscriminate. It's clear what kind of people your parents are." Bella looked at us with disdain and sneered. "Good thing I broke up with him. This useless man is all yours. Let me give you a word of advice. A whore and a dog. May they last forever." I led Zoe out of the dorm and into the hallway. Zoe whispered, "I only spoke up because I was angry. Don't read too much into it." I nodded. "I know. You have to get scholarships and work as a tutor. You don't have time for romance." Zoe asked curiously, "Then why did you ask me to come out?" I said, "I know you have the contact directory. Can you give me Bella's home address?" Zoe immediately panicked. "What do you plan to do? Don't do anything reckless." She seemed very worried and even grabbed my hand in her anxiety. Zoe looked into my eyes and said seriously, "We may be poor, but we have dignity. Others are at fault, but don't ruin your future because of their mistakes." The atmosphere grew silent, and I didn't know how to respond. Did this girl think I was planning to go down with Bella's family? Zoe then realized she had grabbed my hand in her haste. She quickly let go, blushing. "You're hardworking and determined. You deserve a better life. I believe that in 10 years, Bella will regret her choices." I said, "It won't take 10 years. I've already had the dealership assess the damage. If her family lives in the city, she'll regret it soon." Zoe was stunned and asked, "What do you mean?" I said, "The sports car downstairs was mine." She stared at me, dumbfounded. I explained everything to Zoe. She was speechless again. It wasn't until I showed her the car registration that she believed it was true. When Zoe went to get the contact directory, she walked as if in a daze, probably thinking she was dreaming. Soon, she sent me Bella's home address. Surprisingly, it was just a few kilometers from the dealership. What a coincidence. Right. I called the dealership, and they told me they'd deliver the damage assessment within 10 minutes. Wait, I suddenly remembered. Bella had given me back her phone. How would I contact her for debt collection later? I decided to temporarily return the phone to her. I went back to Bella's dorm. When she saw me return, she asked irritably, "Why are you back?" I said, "I know you don't have a phone. You can borrow this for a couple of days." Mia immediately clutched her chest, pretending to retch. "I'm gonna puke. I was right. This simp is doing it on purpose. Trying to play this game again, off again, on again with you." Bella snapped, "Do you really take me for a fool? Can you stop pestering me? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends." Just then, Mia's phone rang. Mia took out her phone and said, puzzled, "Bella, why are your parents calling me?" I was taken aback. The dealership works fast. It seemed Bella's parents couldn't reach her, so they contacted Mia. Bella took the phone and asked, "Mom, what's wrong?" This time, Bella didn't put the call on speaker, but her mother's yelling was loud and clear. "Don't call me Mom. Do you know how much your father and I make? You've ruined us." The sudden scolding left Bella stunned. She quickly said, "Mom, what did I do?" Bella walked to the corner of the dormitory with her phone. As she talked, she suddenly burst into tears. Mia hurriedly asked, "Sis, what's wrong?" Bella sobbed, "I know why Jake suddenly got mad at me. I dented his car by sitting on it, and now he wants my family to pay. The estimated cost is $137K. Where's my family going to get that kind of money? The bill was sent to my house. My mom said she took a picture and sent it to me. She told me to check my phone." Bella couldn't stand it anymore. She sat down on the bed in a daze. Mia bit her lip and said, "Don't panic. I might have a solution." Bella asked, "What can you do?" Mia said, "At this point, we need to see if you're pregnant. If you are, and you're carrying his child, would he really dare to ask you for the repair costs?" Bella immediately nodded. "Right. Even if he doesn't care about me, he has to care about the baby." Mia said excitedly, "If he dares to ask you for the repair costs, go make a scene at his house." Bella sighed deeply. "I initially wanted to use the baby to marry into a rich family. Who knew it would only end up covering repair costs?" Mia consoled her. "Hundreds of thousands isn't small. Your parents would need 2 years to earn that. And who says you can't marry into a rich family? Maybe his parents will insist on you getting married. They'll cover the repair costs and might even gift you a car." I wondered if I should remind Bella out of past affection about her getting pregnant with Jake's kid. It certainly wouldn't exempt her from the repair costs. I started to speak. But before I could say anything, Bella shot me a venomous look. She walked over, snatched the phone from me, and said, "Don't say a word. Get lost. I don't want to hear your voice. I'm already in a bad mood." Mia also snapped impatiently, "Yeah, can you get lost? We're trying to figure out how to calm Jake down." I awkwardly said, "How about you read the documents first?" Mia yelled at me, "Get lost, loser. We have nothing to talk about. If you keep pestering Bella, we'll accuse you of harassment and see you in court." I nodded. "Since you said that, fine. After all, we were going to see each other in court anyway." Bella had already picked up her phone and sent a voice message to Jake. "Please come downstairs to my dorm. I want to talk to you. Please." Jake quickly replied, and she played the voice message. I heard Jake's voice. "Sure, you slut. I want to talk to you too. Come down now." Bella put down her phone and worriedly asked Mia, "With that attitude, will he really forgive me?" Mia said, "Go down and beg him. I'll go with you." Mia helped Bella up and glared at me. "Get out of the way." I ignored her and turned to leave the dormitory. Just as I was about to go downstairs, Zoe returned. Bella and Mia walked past Zoe, heading in front of us, seeing me. Zoe quietly asked, "Will you make Bella pay a lot of money?" I said, "I won't extort her. She should pay what she owes, but I'm thinking—" Zoe asked, "Thinking what?" I said, "Seems like they're begging the wrong person. Won't it be awkward?" When we got downstairs, Jake was already there. The most noticeable thing was the slap mark on his face. He was standing by the roadside, crying and wiping his tears. If I'm not mistaken, he must have told his dad about what happened and got some fatherly support. Bella and Mia were dumbfounded at the sight. Mia said, seriously, with all the money his family has, he needs to cry like this. Bella said, maybe he really loves that car. When I dated him, he always took great care to protect it. Mia sighed. They say a car is a man's second wife. Must be true. I rolled my eyes. I don't treat my car like a wife, and why wouldn't he protect it? It's my car. Bella quickly approached him, looking pitiful. Baby, let me explain. Explain to your grandfather. You bitch! Jake finally couldn't hold back his frustration. He rushed forward, grabbed Bella's hair, and slapped her hard across the face. Neither Bella nor Mia expected Jake to hit her. Mia hurried over to try to break it up, while Bella, feeling wronged, said, Baby, hit me if you're upset. It's my fault. I'll never do it again. Can I make it up to you for the rest of my life? I don't need your compensation. Jake was so angry he started punching Bella in the face. As he continued hitting her, both Bella and Mia realized something was seriously wrong. The students watching were all shocked. Just a moment ago, Bella was stepping out of a sports car admired by everyone. Now, in front of all these people, she was being beaten by Jake, who had her by the hair, punching her face repeatedly. Mia shouted anxiously, You're hitting her too hard. She's a girl. Jake hit so hard, he knocked out one of Bella's front teeth. Bella, missing a tooth, covered her mouth in disbelief and spit out some blood. She quickly bent down to pick up the tooth, crying out, Stop hitting me, my tooth is knocked out. Mia, go get some milk. I nodded and said, Smart, if you put a knocked out tooth in milk quickly, there's a chance it can be reattached. Zoe turned to me, saying incredulously, Are you taking pleasure in this? I said, How could I? We were in love once. Seeing her like this makes me sad too. Zoe asked, Then why are you smiling? I said, I'm just naturally cheerful. People who smile often tend to have good luck. During this beating, Bella finally remembered me covering her mouth. Bella cried out to me, You're really not a man. Look how badly I've been beaten, and you still won't help me. I replied seriously, You just told me not to harass you, or we'd meet in court. Jake, who seemed overwhelmed earlier, finally noticed me when I spoke. He let go of Bella and walked toward me. Mia quickly said, Jake, I know you're upset, but do you know how much Bella has suffered for you just now? This loser was bullying her. If she didn't love you so much, would she have put up with this? Jake angrily shouted, Shut up. Your whole family's losers. Mia didn't dare say another word. It was strange. She had been so aggressive in front of me. But now, facing her rich idol, she was unusually obedient. Jake stood in front of me. I wondered how he would apologize. But then he did something unexpected. In front of everyone, he suddenly knelt down, tears in his eyes. He cried, Bro, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. At that moment, the world seemed to fall silent. Everyone stared at me in shock. The students were dumbfounded. Mia trembled with disbelief. Zoe said nothing, keeping her head down. Bella, covering her mouth where a tooth was missing, suddenly had blood streaming from her nose. She tried to sniff it back, but ended up choking and coughing painfully. No one expected things to turn out this way, honestly. Even I hadn't expected it. I sighed and said, If you knew this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? Mia asked in a daze. Why are you apologizing to him? I said softly, Yes. Tell everyone why you're apologizing to me. Jake, still crying, said, I shouldn't have stolen your car to show off. I shouldn't have stolen your girl. I'm despicable and gross. Please forgive me. I told my dad, but he said our family's already struggling with rent and can't pay for the damages. I nodded and said, Your dad works really hard. That's why I sent my car to your family's repair shop. Who would have thought such a diligent mechanic would raise a son like you? Jake broke down. I'll never do it again. If you can give us more time to pay, I'll do anything you ask. Bella was stunned. She muttered, What repair shop? What car maintenance? What's stealing a car? I said, the facts are right in front of you. Bella pointed at the sports car, her voice trembling. That car is yours. I nodded. Yes, it's my car. Her expression froze. Then her lips quivered as she burst into tears. How can you be the rich one? Weren't you the flyer guy? I do hand out flyers, but those are all for my shops. Ignoring her bleeding nose and missing tooth, Bella hurried to my side, limping. She grabbed my arm, crying, "Baby, let me explain." I said coldly, "I'm not your baby. We're already broken up." I reached out and placed my hand on Jake's shoulder. He swallowed hard, looking at me pleadingly. I said, "This is your fault, not your dad's. In fact, I should thank you because you showed me my girlfriend's true colors. You helped me, so I'll help you this once." I thought for a moment and continued. "You'll graduate next year, you can negotiate the compensation amount, and once you start earning, I'll let you pay it back over 3 years. Jake, surprised, asked, "Really?" I nodded. "Yes, it's your mistake, not your father's to pay for. But knocking out her front tooth is going to cost you a lot." Jake said viciously, "I'm not paying a cent. At worst, I'll go to jail and get a record. Anyway, I won't pass any civil service exams." I asked, "Are you really willing to go to jail rather than pay her a cent?" Jake replied, "Yes, this bitch doesn't deserve my compensation." I patted his shoulder hard and laughed. "See, now you're being sensible. I'll waive 1,000 as a reward." Bella was already dumbfounded. She whimpered, "Baby, I was really wrong. Can you give me another chance? It's all." She turned around quickly and pointed at Mia, cursing. "It's all because of this bitch." Mia didn't respond, her face blank. Bella cried, "You told me to do this. I loved my boyfriend so much. Why did I fall for your tricks?" I was tired of watching her drama. I said, "Remember to take the morning after pill. Don't actually get pregnant. It's not because I care about you, but I know with your personality, you'd definitely have an abortion if you got knocked up. I don't want an innocent life to be killed before it even sees the world because of your bad character." At that moment, Bella's face turned ashen. Mia suddenly started crying. "Are you not going to repay the money I just helped you borrow?" Bella completely turned on her. "You caused all this misery. Why should I pay you back?" Mia also broke down in tears. "I have to repay that money or I'll be beaten to death." I casually said, "If you're afraid of owing money to a loan shark, then just pay it back." Mia cried again. "Where am I supposed to get 10K? Zoe clenched her fists in anger. "You mock me for eating food off the table, but your own family doesn't even have 10K. You're poor too, so why do you bully other poor people? You deserve this." Mia sat on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. I smiled at Bella and said, "Goodbye. Unless it's about repaying money, don't contact me, otherwise I'll charge you with harassment." I turned to Zoe and asked, "Since the bitch has been punished, how about we go have a meal to celebrate? You can ride in my car." Zoe replied, "Are you drunk in broad daylight? Why would I get in your car or have a meal with you?" Realizing she had a point, I awkwardly scratched my nose. I got into my sports car and drove off. Bella and Jake's family quickly reached an agreement, with both families paying half. It said that Bella was beaten half to death by her parents at home, even having her leg broken. It really was broken. She had to wear a cast. The worst part was that her leg didn't heal properly. She walked with a limp and might have to break it again to heal correctly. Feeling too ashamed, she didn't return for the last year of college. Mia, on the other hand, did return. But every time she did, people mocked her, calling her a traitor to the poor, to pay back the loan shark. Mia tried desperately to find a job, but her reputation preceded her, and no one wanted to hire her. In the end, she found me, begging for a job. I happened to have a few low-end restaurants, so I had her clean the toilets. She had looked down on the poor, so now she could clean toilets for them. She could only cry while scrubbing the toilets, and word spread about her situation. Some students even came specifically to use the toilet after she cleaned it, just to make her clean it again. After dropping out, Bella frequently messaged me, begging to get back together. I blocked her, but she would just switch numbers and continue to harass me. Eventually, I did as she wished and sued her. That finally scared her off, and she stopped contacting me. As for Zoe and me, nothing happened between us. She was a self-reliant and disciplined girl, different from Bella and her crowd. During the last year of college, Zoe didn't contact me at all. After graduation, she went back to her hometown to teach. She said there were many poor children in her hometown, and she wanted to help them. I admired her character and reached out to her a few times, but she wasn't interested in dating. The only time she asked for my help was to see if I could organize a clothing drive for the children in her area. I donated some old clothes. And after that, we didn't stay in touch. I often think about what she said, about having dignity, that remarkable girl. I hope her life takes her far,